small, was singing to whom they were in thrall. They couldn't forget Carcosa, the black stars in the sky, where twin suns linked in men's shadows as they pass on by. Their teeth did they gnash, their voices did they bellow, and their sanity melted away, all before the king in yellow.
You guys began last session investigating, this is particularly Richard, investigating Miss Whitwer. After which you guys all fled the McAllister building. You set up a meeting in the park while Levsner located the bookshop that sold his son that strange book he found in his apartment. And Lesnar decided to purchase some books from the proprietor of this store. His name was Robert R. Robert. He's kind of a strange guy, but seemingly well-intentioned. And after leaving the shop, he actually opened up A World Without Doors, which was one of the books he bought, as well as opening up A Horse by Degrees, which is the other book. And inside A Horse by Degrees, you discovered a stamp that seems to have a bunch of Castaigne names in it. Actually, the first one was Chastain. So it seemed like the spelling was kind of weird. After that, you guys all met at the park, exchanged information, and decided to conduct research proper on the evidence you've gathered so far. So Vigo headed to headed to find the blueprints of the McAllister, ended up purchasing a copy of them from City Hall. And Harold and Reagan both went to the New York Public Library, sort of sifting through all the old records, and ultimately ended up discovering the dark deeds associated with Asa Darabondi, who's the architect of the building. Turns out he drowned a bunch of kids. There's all these like books on him, the most prolific of which was called The Devil's Craftsman. And we left off with Reagan attending his rehearsal with his ballet troupe and accompanying his friend Kendra out for a night of drinks. So that's where we're gonna pick up. We sort of start in this scene looking at this like old style 1990s Upper East Side New York bar. We see the word CZAR bar in red neon with a white neon star in between. And we see Kendra, as well as two of the other ballerinas and Reagan walking into this place. So I'm going to cue up some music here.
Ooh. Is it CZAR bar, like Russian CZAR bar?
Yeah. And it's funny because you see as you walk in, there's like a bunch of portraits sort of done in like a comedic or like ironic fashion of like Russian Cossacks. And they all wear hats oddly similar to that of Mr. Castaigne's. But yeah, you walk up. The other two dancers that Kendra is with are named Sophie and Nicole. And the three of them immediately head over to the bar. So what would you like to do?
We'll say that Reagan spends a fair amount of time just looking at the portraits in the bar, just like, ain't that interesting?
The music's blasting. It's like packed with people. It's during the summer, so there's almost like a sheen on the windows from just like people's sweat.
Ooh.
Sort of like clouding the glass.
Oh yeah, baby, just some greasy windows.
No.
But after staring at the portraits for a while, he goes up to the bar with his fellow troop mates.
Yeah, Kendra, Sophie, and Nicole all order Manhattans. And they come in these like large glasses, and they all start drinking them. Kendra turns to you. She's sort of like yelling over this like din of people. She's like, I'll get the first round. What do you want?
Bottle of Budweiser for me. Bottle.
And she nods. She sort of like leans far over the bar to talk to the bartender. There's like a lot of distance between them. Bartender nods, goes behind, gets her a bottle, and she passes the bottle to you.
Hey, cheers!
They all raise their drinks. And she's like, we're gonna go down and dance. Do you want to come?
Maybe in a bit. I'll sit back and unwind for a while.
Yeah, you see them head down to the dance floor, and like you somewhat easily track them. You see they head like under one of these like dance floor lights, and they're dancing to themselves. You also see just like various like wooden tables and chairs that people are set up in, as well as some like booths farther in the back that seem a bit more private. So
yeah, for the time being, Reagan's gonna just kind of watch like some weird chaperone. That's kind of like the vibe he's given off of just... He's not used to being asked out to like social events. So he's a little unsure of what to do with himself. And he'd be lying to himself if he said that he weren't a little embarrassed that he's just going out with a bunch of girls.
Yeah, you're sort of standing there, like, somewhat uncomfortably, and you sort of just watch them for a bit. There's one corner of the bar where, like, there's a sports game on TV. It's like one of those old-style TVs where it's a bit, like, staticky, and the picture's small, standard def. And you do see that there is, like, a group of more, like... You know, maybe it's like a group of guys that all came out together to this bar, but they're just watching the game. But you come to the bottom of your drink. You look over, and I'll say just with your extremely high alertness, like you never lose Kendra and her friends, but they're just sort of like moving around the dance floor. You see now that they're dancing with a group of guys over near the stage. And there's a live band actually that's playing on stage further in.
Are they any good?
Yeah, they are pretty good. They're like 80s rock, like similar to this music you hear. But
oh yeah.
But there'd be lyrics interspersed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably stay back for a little bit, switching his view between what's going on with the sports game and looking back at the group. And I think after a while, and after finishing that drink, maybe he feels warmed a little bit by the drink, and maybe works up a little more courage to put himself out there. And this 40-year-old man goes, this large 40-year-old man goes trudging through this sea of dancers and makes his way up towards the front where Kendra and Troop are.
And you see that they're all like dancing together. Kendra's sort of like dancing in the center, and her friends Sophie and Nicole are sort of around them dancing with like other guys. And she turns towards you and immediately starts to pull you in to dance with her. So what would Reagan like to do?
Whoa, whoa! And he kind of lets himself get pulled into it.
Hell yeah. Just because I'm curious, why don't you give me a dance check? I want to see if he's like, he's gonna
come
kill
on,
this.
man. Come on, man. I failed my dance check last time. Where's my art dance? There it is.
Art dance.
Success!
Let's go. So you tell me, like, how does he like command this dance and like really impress Kendra?
I think, obviously, dance has been his interest for at least some part of his adult life, or else why would he, like, join a ballet troupe?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kendra's really only seen that side of his abilities and capabilities when it comes to dance. I think this man, when he was a little bit younger, it's the 90s now, we're listening to some 80s style rock. That was his shit back in the day.
Hell yeah.
So he's busting out some moves from a decade ago or so.
Hell yeah. And yeah, Kendra is just like loving it. But you know, since it is a live band, like they stop their sort of the first half of their set and they all just go off to like drink and kind of like get water, take a break. And you guys have a moment to yourselves, and there's like not even a pause in their like activity. Kendra just like grabs you by the arm, and the four of you, actually I should say the six of you, because these two random guys that Sophie and Nicole both were dancing with come over now too, and you all crowd into a booth on the side of the dance floor. And you finished your drink. It seems like it's your turn to pay for the next round. If Reagan wants to.
Yep, Reagan's gonna pay for everyone's next round, including our two pickups here.
Yeah, they just like
so it takes.
They look like two like jockey like finance bros. Not very smart, which maybe you resonate with. They're just kind of there.
Yeah,
they look very drunk. And right as you stand to get up from the table, there's a girl standing there. She sort of has her hair slicked back into like a tight bob, and she has black leather gloves, and she's holding a platter with a bottle on it. And the first thing you hear her say is just the word bottle, and you sort of stop in your tracks for a second. She's like, "Bottle service? Do I have the right table?"
I mean, I didn't order bottle service, so, no, sorry, it must be one of the others.
Oh, she sort of looks down. Ah, it said it was for table 12. All right, I'm gonna head out. And she sort of heads over, and she goes, like, down the line of booths trying to find table 12.
I mean, none of the rest of y'all ordered bottle service, right? I didn't turn her away for no reason.
One of the jockey dudes speaks up. He's like, nah, man. I didn't order anything.
Anyways, I'm gonna go to the bar and, get the rest of y'all your drinks. Be back in a minute. Reagan steps up, and I feel like he's, even though it could have easily been a genuine just like coincidence, I feel like that's the part of the entire operations like journey into the hotel that stuck with him the most, and the part that's been eating at the back of his thoughts the most. So as he's going over and ordering, he goes over to the bar, like starts ordering the drinks, and is like looking back to track the bottle service woman. Not in like a suspicious way, but in more so of a that's kind of weird sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see that she like sort of makes her way down the booths. And she heads towards this back area that you hadn't seen before that looks to be like a red, velvety, sort of curtained off area. It seems to be like maybe some more like exclusive area of the bar that people can like reserve and pay bottle service for. And when she comes back out, she's no longer carrying that tray.
Okay. He gets these drinks eventually, goes back to the booth and hands them out.
And you see by this point, like, they're starting to get pretty lit. Like, you gather that they might have gotten... There's a second bar that's sort of close to the stage, so they might have gotten drinks while you were doing your own thing. But right as you bring the drinks back, they all, like, quickly down them because the band has now come back to the stage. And you see Sophie, one of the girls, sort of, like, ends up leaving with one of these jockey dudes. But Nicole, her guy, and Kendra are all still there. So do you head back up to dance with them?
Yeah, I think he does, and he goes and starts dancing with Kendra. Starts to talk to her. Say, Kendra.
Yeah?
I don't think we really, know that much about each other. He's trying to, like, yell over the very... I don't even know what you do for a living. Are you doing dance as a career, or is that just a hobby like mine? Because I must say, you certainly dance like a professional.
I'm between jobs right now. I'm living with my parents. Upper East Side.
Hey, ain't no shame in that. Rent's getting high these days.
It is. What about you? And she, we sort of flash back to you, like, telling her that lie about the mechanic, and, like, her sort of not believing it. What's this mystery work you do?
So, I was just thinking about it, and I think that Reagan, even though I didn't detail it on my sheet, Reagan would need some sort of job other than, like, his... Because he's no longer, or I guess, like, even with his like, military service, he's on Delta Force, which is also, like, a call to the line of duty type of thing, and it's very unsteady work.
Yeah.
So, I feel like he would need some sort of, job on the side, and being in this bar made me think, you know what? He'd make a good bouncer.
Hell
So,
yeah.
like, maybe... actually, I bounce at a bar not too, unsimilar to this one.
What's it called? I'm doing the typical player to GM move right now.
It's called Flanagan's.
Hell yeah, Flanagan's.
Although it's not in the city, it's a bit outside of it. It's in New Jersey, actually. It's where I live. I live in, Montclair, New Jersey.
Nice. Do you have your own place?
Yes, I do.
She sort of like nods and looks off at that towards the band. And we'll say the band completes their second set. It's now like, 1 or 2 in the morning. And just for fun, as you guys are both walking out, we see like that one bartender that was sort of mainly giving you your drinks the first time and the second time. He's like this beefy, like bald dude, turns, and we see the other bartender in this bar is Sarah Atkin. You wouldn't recognize her at all, but it's Levsner's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we see that she like runs up the tab and hands you a receipt, Reagan.
Alright, yep, he's gonna close his tab, I suppose.
Okay. And we'll sort of leave off with this, right? So the four of you, so you, Kendra, Nicole, and this guy. Nicole and this guy end up like getting a taxi away. You see Nicole like motions to her to like come closer, and her and Kendra seem to talk in the distance by the cab. You see Kendra looks towards you for a second and then like whispers something into Nicole's ear. And she sort of like tipsily stumbles over to you, and we see the cab go away in the background. And it is that sort of point in like whatever like series or movie we're telling where like we're unsure of what's going to happen next. So I'll have you tell me what Reagan's sort of intentions are here.
So is the bar, did we walk here from like the dance studio, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's close by. I think his intent, it's like a weird thing where, like, Kendra's got to be like a fair bit younger than him, right?
Yeah.
Which I think that's the thing he really feels awkward about. But I think his intent is to go back to the studio, and because she lives in the city, so I'm assuming she takes like public transportation to offer her a ride back to her place, or maybe ask her if her parents live nearby, and if he can walk her back home.
And she sort of leans in close. She has like her breath just like reeks of alcohol. She's like, I'll see you on Monday. I'm fine. I'm gonna get back. All right. But I'll see you. Okay? And she goes in for a sloppy hug.
He kind of like loosely hugs her, like doesn't quite close his arms around her. You know, why don't I get you a cab and they can drive you back?
And you hail a taxi. One comes over. You sort of like pass the driver some money, and she gets in the back. And before you close the door, she's like, "Thanks for a fun night. I want to see your place sometime. I don't know why you live so far away if we work right down the street."
Guess it's just the situation I'm stuck with. But thank you, Kendra. I had a good time too.
Door shuts, and you are now walking alone back to the dance studio. Is that you said that's where you wanted to head, right?
Yeah, because that's where he would have parked nearby.
You start to head back. As you turn, there's like a few streets you sort of have to bridge before you make it all the way back to the studio. You see like groups of people walking together, like guys and girls out for a night on the town. At this point in history, the Upper East Side is like the place to be with the bars and nightlife. And as you round the corner, with your incredible alertness, you see a man that looks exactly like Thomas Manuel rounding a corner. And smiling and laughing, you see he has a phone to his ear, who walks right past you down down the empty street you just turned on. Your car is like at the end of this like this sort of L, sort of like of the street and like a street that's perpendicular, and he's walks right past you out on headed away.
Huh. That is weird, because we killed.
We hung
Thomas
him.
Manning.
Yep.
Allegedly.
You hear this man speak, and it sounds exactly like his voice, but you can't really
You
make
know
out
what?
what he's saying.
Let's I'm gonna try to tail him.
Okay. He continues walking. He stops outside of this like closed bodega. You see like windows with like food and like a cash register, but there's a closed sign. And he appears to be talking to someone over the phone and like talking and laughing. And then he turns to you, but he doesn't appear to be looking in your eyes, like he's looking past you, and he starts to walk directly towards you. So if you don't move, he's gonna almost like walk into you.
Ooh. I think that Reagan is gonna, like, we're on the sidewalk and he's gonna step off to the side and turn his body to allow him to pass. But if he does pass, he's gonna focus real hard and try to see if he can make out anything that's being said.
What you hear with your crazy high alertness is you hear him talking into the phone, and he's like, "The ballroom? What is it that you want to show me?" And you see, as you get closer now to him than you ever were before, you see his skin is sallow and pale, except for his face, which is purple and swollen. You see, as he rounds the corner, his eyes turn up and bulge white and then burst red. And you see a ghost rope that appears around his neck, and he appears to lift off the ground and dangle like he is hung in place. I'll have you give me a sanity check against the unnatural.
Okay. Sanity check. A failure!
Okay. So you're going to take 3 sanity damage. As the last thing you see is he just sort of like flies up in the air, and he's suspended like a rope is hanging him. We hear the sound of a rope tightening, and then you wake up in your bed in a start. It was a nightmare that you had after leaving Kendra. Your sheets are like soaked. You remember stopping by the dance studio and then heading home.
Yeah, definitely gonna take a while to go back to sleep after that one. Reagan would get up and pace around his small little house for a little while before eventually finding some sleep again. I think actually he's gonna write down what his dream was first. I think even though he's not like intelligent in any conventional sense, he does have like a obviously his awareness is high. I feel like that plays into his intuition, which I think that might be what makes him a good operative for Delta Green is that he just has like very, very good innate intuition about things. So he's gonna write down what he saw because even though he knows it was just a dream and it wouldn't, of course it made sense, it was kind of a stressful experience, he feels like it's still important.
Yeah, he takes out like a piece of paper, starts writing down in as much detail what he saw. And we cut to a much different scene next. We see Harold Burton in his boxers and just like a white t-shirt getting into bed with Blake Waters, his longtime girlfriend of 10 years. She's like, honey, can you turn off the TV? I can barely get a wink with that thing on.
Yeah, just 5 more minutes, I'll turn it off. Just at the end of this episode, I swear.
I don't know, you have so much energy late at night, it's crazy.
Well, it's not having energy, it's not wanting to go to sleep. You turn off the TV. Are you gonna try to go to bed at the same time as her, or like stay up and? Yeah, he's been working on getting to bed earlier. You know, he's got to follow her lead sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sort of get into bed, turn off the light, and she's sort of faced away from you in bed. But as soon as you like join her to go to bed at the same time, she flips over and faces you. We see her face in this moment. She's sort of like a bit heavier set, but she just has these great like vibrant eyes, very honest eyes, kind eyes. And in the darkness of the room, she's like, baby, do you want to try something? Try something new?
I mean, who am I to turn it down when it's offered?
All right. Good. I've been thinking about this. All right. I want to call you king tonight, baby.
Oh, I mean, sure. I can get on with that.
You can call me queen.
Oh, you are my queen, sweetheart.
And we see the start of this scene. We'll sort of cut tastefully
Oh, thank God.
at certain points, but yeah, it's weird. She has you do this like role play. And we cut to the next morning where we see Viggo Halvor getting out of bed in his apartment. You walk up, sort of make yourself a cup of coffee, and you see there's a red dot on your voicemail, like someone left a message.
Well, let's see what's going on with today. Beep.
You hear Stelios' voice. He's like, dude, I want to go see a movie today with you, man. It's been a while. I mean, are you down? There's a really cool theater down the street from me. It's art house, you know, shows like indie movies if you're into that. So yeah, let me know, bro. I'm free all day. Peace. He hangs up.
Stelios. I think before he... I mean, are we meeting up later in the day, or we're just kind of hanging out? Like,
you guys haven't set a time to like meet up again, but so it really could be whenever.
No, Vigo's gonna reach out to Riley Stark, his protege, see if she's around first before, and if not, then maybe he'll go see a movie with Stelios. But he's kind of just gonna let him, you know, he can be a lot.
He can, yeah. Yeah, so you call up Riley, and she answers, like, kind of quickly, like, after the first ring. She's like, Vigo, where have you been?
Hey, good morning, Riley.
Vigo, you missed the presentation of our work yesterday. I know you have that other job that, you know, you go to sometimes, your consulting work, but, like, you left me high and dry. Just tell me next time.
I'm sorry. It's my friend Stelios. He's not very well. I've been worried about him, but I should have given you a heads up. But if you're around today, I thought maybe we could grab some coffee or go for a walk or something. Catch up. I don't know what you're up to. If you're busy, no worries, but I figured I'd reach out now, see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have some free time later. This will be on you, okay? I'm still mad at you for missing yesterday. 3 o'clock. And she gives you the name of a coffee place that's near her. It's a place called Angel Coffee.
All right, I'll see you there. It'll be good. We can catch up. It's been a minute. I'm sorry I've been absent, but I'll be there today. So.
Okay, I'll see you. And she quickly hangs up. You heard while she was talking in the background, like the sounds of like little kids. And with that, we cut to Levsner. Levsner, you wake up early on Saturday morning because you went to sleep so early. You went to sleep at like 6 or 7 p.m. because you were just exhausted. And I think you said you wanted to go to the bookshop with your family, right, this morning?
I believe so. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So you start to head. You just sort of like make a little bit of a trip out of it. Maybe you walk down there with Sarah, who's coming back from a long night where she ran into Reagan, but you'll just never know that was the case. And she's probably only got like an hour or two left before she's gonna crash, but she decides to join you after drinking some coffee. And as you head towards that street off of the New York Public Library where you last encountered the bookshop, I'll have you give me a sanity check.
Oh, it's gone, isn't it? Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's a critical success.
Oh, that's okay. That's good. I thought all doubles were failures.
No. It's
Okay,
it's only a double that is a failure already.
Oh, okay. I've only seen double failures, so.
Yeah, so I'll have you choose willpower or sanity. You're gonna lose 1 from either of those scores.
I'll lose 1 from sanity.
Okay. You return to the same spot after a prolonged search. and you find a storefront that's been abandoned for perhaps a decade. You see books written in gold up at top, and just an abandoned storefront that looks long abandoned. You see ads from the 80s in the windows. It doesn't even look like its last business was a bookshop even. Like someone might have bought it and repurposed it. Very strange.
Sorry, kiddo. I thought it was here. I must have misremembered. It's right across from the library, so I don't know. But how about this? Sarah, let's go to the library, and I'll keep looking around. You can hang out with Danny while he reads and plays with other toys and things and computers. And I'll let you know if I find anything.
Yeah, no worries. Totally fine. I'll probably only stick around for like another hour or two, but if you want, I can take back Danny once we're done.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm really sad that I misremembered where the bookshop was, but yeah, I'll try to find something for him.
Hey, it happens, okay? It's totally fine.
I also give her like a tenner so she can go get like a snack with Danny while they're hanging out at the library.
Yeah, so they head up the steps. Would you like to go into the library as well, or would you like to do something else?
I'll follow them in to see where they're sitting, and sort of scope it out just to make sure they're safe. And then I'll head back outside and try to fucking kick in the door and see what the hell is behind this abandoned storefront.
Okay. Yeah, you kick the door in.
I would say also retroactively, when I do this stuff, I take my my credentials for Delta Green, my fake FBI, my double fake FBI credentials.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk inside, and it looks like this place before it was closed was renovated to be a nail salon. The interior is completely different than what you encountered before. There's like,
so is
there's
it
like,
all old? Still like
well, it looks abandoned, but it looks
yeah,
like
so it's
there's
still
like,
abandoned, but it was renovated to a nail salon before it was abandoned.
yeah, there, you see like
Okay.
linoleum. You see like basins where they might have
Yeah.
like washed people's hands and stuff like that. Yeah, the space looks nothing like the bookshop that you encountered at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even as big.
Yep.
It looks like it's much smaller.
I'm gonna see if there's any old postage or signage saying the actual street address of this building, and sort of stick it in my pocket or note it down so I can start looking through it in our databases later.
Okay, yeah, you look up and you see there's like a piece of paper that's dangling from the old rusted security gate that wasn't rusted when you encountered it before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you see a flyer for a nail salon up and coming, and it has like an address and like information for people on it, and everything like that.
Okay, I'm gonna delve further back. There was also an upstairs, right? Didn't we go up some stairs and then to a new location, or was it all one floor and we just sort of went in a zigzag all the way around this like expansive space?
It was one floor and it was just a zigzag. Okay. It seemed like the size of a department store when you were inside before.
Yeah.
And this does not seem that large at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do some light searching, just root around some drawers, try to find the back office. Specifically looking for ownership information, or like, since it's a historical building, maybe the previous owner kept like an old book that was the store before the nail salon or something as sort of the aesthetic.
Okay. Yeah, so you said you're just basically looking for like the The name
Any
of the
historical
business.
documents.
Okay.
Yeah, like all the different types of businesses that were in this storefront before. I mean, it most likely won't have it, and I can search that later. But I just want to see if there's any like historical traces in the building.
Okay. Yeah, so you... Actually, I can tell you this from the piece of paper you found before, and this is corroborated by, like, different things you find in the building, like remnants of things. This place was called Nail Atelier.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the business owner was someone named Nyla McKay. And let's see if there's anything else you can glean.
I thought you were gonna say something like Steven S. Steven or some shit.
Nyla N. Nyla. I'll say that's what you find in
Okay.
the Rebel, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna slip back out and well, actually, is there like a back door? Is there like an inner terrace area that this building connects to?
Yeah, you do see a back door that leads out onto the street behind it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just peek my head out of that, and I
Okay.
think I'll at least like lightly hover my hand on my revolver as I peek out.
It's funny when you reach the back door. It has a gold handle, and it looks like the door was repainted. You see, it's like chipping in places. It was repainted white, but it looks like the original door was painted red.
Okay. You said it was repainted white?
Mm-hmm. For the nail salon.
Okay, but it was originally red as a gold handle. Okay. Before I do this, I'm gonna actually head out, make sure Sarah and Danny are on their way first, and then I'll come back and investigate this. So I'll slip out the front, go to the library, make sure they're all good, and then circle back here later in the day.
Okay. Yeah, so you head over. You see a very wholesome scene of like Sarah and Danny, like she's teaching him how to like maintain his library card that he got from his field trip here. You know, like write whatever books he has, and the librarian will like talk to him, and he can sign books in and out, things like that. He maybe doesn't understand all of what's going on, but he just seems happy to be with Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that she turns, like recognizing you're there, just gives you a smile, and walks him over. And she's like, "Did you find what you wanted to find?"
I mean, no, I couldn't find the bookstore. I must have completely misremembered it, but hopefully we can find Danny a new bookstore, and he can find some more books that similar to the one he got on the field trip. Just want to make sure I don't disappoint him, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he picked out a few books with me that you know, I'll make sure that he brings it back and everything and remembers. Maybe we can come back next weekend or whatever. But yeah, if you want to stick around with him, you can, or if you want me to bring him back to the apartment, I can do that too.
I'll ask Danny, so I'll walk over and sort of, you know, poke him or like ruffle his hair on his head. Also look at the books that he found. Anything weird?
Nothing creepy.
Okay.
Just a lot of like books that have to do with like animals and like zoos.
Mm-hmm. Hey kiddo, did you wanna stay here with me for a bit, or do you want to head home back home with Sarah?
He grabs Sarah's hand.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it looks like he wants to head back. So if you don't mind, I think I actually had someone call me from the office. So since we're downtown, I'll just swing by real quick and head home afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was meaning to tell you this earlier, and you see she's like a bit uncomfortable, but presses through it. I totally forgot, but Julie called while you were asleep. I forgot it was her weekend, so I can swing up and drop him at hers.
Actually, no, it's I don't want to put you through that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Let's head on home together, and then I'll swing by and drop Danny off.
Okay, so we see all of you heading out of the library and heading home. We'll cut back to Reagan. You're now fully awake. It's Saturday. And you have the full day ahead of you, no plans. So what would he like to do?
Do I recover a hit point from sleeping?
You do, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are you at now? Because I think there's been 2 nights of rest.
Oh, okay. I was at 12, so if it's 2 nights, then
Yeah, you should be fine.
up to max. So 13, 14. Nice. I'm healthy. Okay. Wait, what day is it again? Day of the week?
It is Saturday. The date is August 12th.
Okay.
We'll say it's 6 a.m.
I think it's time to catalog. We'll say that, because I just committed myself to this, he's gotta bounce tonight. At whatever the name I gave for the
Flanagan?
bar.
Oh, yeah, Flanagan's. Yeah. Yeah, let me write that
Oh,
down.
yeah. Thank you,
Aw,
Ryan,
yeah.
Alright, let me write that in my notes. Reagan works at Flanagan's bar. Okay. So yeah, I think he needs to do some work today. Like during the actual day, and then he'll probably work at the bar from like whatever, like 5 p.m. to like 1 a.m. or whatever, and then maybe if he's still alert enough at that time, he'll do something else. But yeah, I think he's gonna get up early, get himself a coffee, drive into the city, and do some cataloging at whatever the hell it's called.
Okay, at the McAllister building?
Yeah, so at in Abigail's apartment. Because you reminded us last time that that is something that was that's one of the tasks given to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to catalog all the items in there. So yeah, we'll say you pull up. Do you just park on the street of the McAllister building?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk up to the entrance, and you see there's a man standing outside the door. He has a newspaper open. Looks to be a black man, slightly taller, conventionally pretty attractive, and he has these like dark shades on. And he looks up, and he's like, I didn't know you FBI like to work after hours.
Well, yeah, we were just put on the case, so thought we'd do some searching. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
Graham Giordano,
I'm a
NYPD. Extends his hand. This is what this guy looks like. So I'll put him on the evidence board. And your name is?
Clarence McGee.
All right, Clarence. Well, I see your team has already gone in, and I left those boxes there for you, and any other materials you might need. There's some rolls of film and things like that. FBI sent them to me, but, you know, I got some extra boxes for you from my guys. Look, I don't know what you guys were getting up to in there, but we had a complaint from someone in the building. So, you know, just maybe keep away from them. I don't want to be too involved with your business, but it seems like maybe you guys were making a loud racket or something and it pissed off an upstairs neighbor.
Wait a minute.
Wait, yeah, as far as we know, Tyler, this building's supposed to be abandoned,
Yeah,
correct?
hold on a minute.
The service,
Fucking get him, McGee.
the services have been terminated.
Fuck him up.
At
Fuck him
least.
up. Pull your gun.
Not gonna pull my gun, but I guess it's a good point to say that because, you know, FBI agent, he would have his sidearm with them. Now, well, first of all, Detective, thank you for offering up your help. You're probably the most helpful individual that we've encountered so far while investigating this case.
Yeah, no problem.
And you said there was a noise complaint from a neighbor?
Yeah, we got an anonymous call sometime last night about, or actually I think it'd be 2 nights ago technically. Yeah, he says we got an anonymous call 2 nights ago, presumably from someone in the building, probably an upstairs neighbor. So you know, myself and one of my guys came down here and investigated. We found that we presumed you guys had come in and started to catalog the things in her apartment. What was that? You guys, your guys on your team? I just want to make sure. We assumed it was, but if it was a break-in or
Yes,
something, we can report it.
It was us. But I've got to say, Detective, I'm rather confused. We were under the assumption that nobody lived in this building anymore.
Oh no, that's not true. There's I think 4 or 5 residents still in the building. If you're talking about the power, that's because they didn't pay their bills, and the energy company is currently in a dispute with the people who own this building. They're a company called ArtLife. So until that gets resolved, yeah, they're not going to have any power.
And how long has this energy dispute been going on for?
Well, so here's the weird thing. It sort of takes you aside. I don't know what's going on with these people in this building, but it's not normal. I guess they didn't report anything was going wrong, even though the power was out for a near month. And it was only because the energy company contacted ArtLife that anything happened. So these people just do not like paying their bills, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, they are getting high. It's like Reagan's thing now, is just talking about how high the bills and the rent is.
You don't have to tell me twice, believe me. In Manhattan, crazy.
Have you been on this case from the beginning?
I have, yeah.
So
Yep.
I'm assuming that that the NYPD was buzzing around this place for at least a week in the beginning. How often did you see the tenants coming in and out of the building?
Not very often at all, which was weird. They'd come and go now and again. I guess there was some issue at some point because one of the residents had his parents come to the building and he didn't want to see them. Some other gentleman stepped in and told them it was none of their business and to leave. Another report, unfortunately, I had to look up, but as far as I'm concerned, it's an apartment building of recluses.
I mean, like folk tend to congregate to the same place, so as strange as these lot are, I guess they would have all had to find their place eventually. But thank you for mentioning the noise complaint. My contemporaries and me, we didn't think anybody was in the building. It looked, with the power out and everything, it looked right abandoned.
I could see how you could assume that. Yeah. I mean, it's sad. This building used to be in much better shape. But, people don't pay their bills, that's what happens.
And, do you know who owns the building?
I do, yeah. It's owned by a company called ArtLife.
Oh, ArtLife also owns the building. They're not just the energy provider.
No. Actually, the energy provider's pissed at ArtLife because I guess they thought they should be some kind of middleman in this, considering all the units in the building were failing to pay. I don't know what the deal was. Lady who owns it, her name is LaChance. Cynthia LaChance. She probably has a lot on her plate. Maybe she didn't know the situation down here until she came down and talked to us.
Yeah, man, this whole case is just weird, which is exactly why the FBI is looking into it.
Yeah, well, listen.
Well, thanks.
You need me, or you need me to send down a team of guys to help you with this cataloging? And he hands you a business card.
Okay.
Are there insight checks in this game?
What's your human score? That's what it is. Human.
Definitely
so,
dog shit. But I
can't influence this, but I want to see if he's giddy that he's potentially gonna work with the FBI, or is he some fucking weirdo that is on the inside for the McAllister building trying to throw people off.
Yeah, give me a human roll.
Oh yeah. That is a failure.
No.
Yeah, he seems to be playing it even. He doesn't seem like he's trying to put himself back on this case. If anything, it seems like he's been dealing with this case for months. He doesn't think it's going to go anywhere, and he's like, well, if you need some extra guys, I can send some people up to help you. He's like, yeah, if you need any help with this cataloging, I know it's a lot of shit in there. So, you need someone, you call me.
Well, thank you, Detective Girodonda. I will keep you in my back pocket.
Same to you, Clarence. Good meeting you, too.
Do we have our fake FBI business cards or contacts?
Yeah, we'll say you don't have business cards, but you show him your fake badge and credentials.
Do we have
actually, that's a good
do we
point.
have a fake handler whose phone number can be reached?
Yeah, so the phone number, associated with your like your I don't know what the word would be, maybe supervisor would be directed to Agent Marcus, your handler.
Okay.
However, I'm gonna make a roll because I just realized Detective Giordanda could perhaps tell if it was real or fake with the IDs. So I'm gonna make a roll in private real quick.
Delta Green gave us really shitty.
It's not a high chance, but it's a chance nonetheless. Okay. Yeah, we'll say this happened like before you started speaking, but he looks it over, looks back up at you, and at the end of this conversation, he heads into his patrol car. You see he has a car phone set up, and he appears to be talking to someone over the phone, and just sort of like glancing out of the car at you.
So Abigail's apartment. Which way do the windows face?
Some of them face out towards a side alley, and some of them face out towards the street.
Gonna go up to Abigail's apartment, and I think for a while, at least, he's just gonna not catalog anything and just watch this guy. Is he still out there by the time?
Yeah.
The time
he sits,
Reagan like gets up to the apartment.
Yeah, he sits there for about 20 minutes. It seems like he's talking on his car phone to someone, and then he takes off down the street.
Phew.
And with that, we will cut to Vigo. Vigo, we see you. Actually, do you want to do anything between like 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. when you'd have to head over to the coffee place?
Who, me?
Vigo. So Vinny's character.
Yeah, maybe I think he'd call back Steelos and just tell him he can. He's got an important project he's got to finish today, but you just return the call. But he wouldn't visit him. He would just communicate and probably just like hang out, probably like read, maybe go to a park, just kind of keep himself busy and not think about what's going on in his life, like work, and try not to stress about those things. I think he'd go to the park. Honestly, I think he'd go to the park and feed the ducks.
Hell yeah, I love that. Yeah, you're tossing some pieces of bread to these ducks, and they're coming up in droves, eating them as they hit the water. And soon enough, it's time to head over to Angel Coffee to meet with Riley. And you walk inside. It's sort of like a hipstery kind of joint. There's a lot of like young artists and people like that inside. A lot of murals on the walls. And you see Riley alone at a table waiting for you. She has her coffee. She looks up and says, "How have you been?"
Been good. Been busy. I've been doing a lot on the side and just struggling a lot, but it's been good. I've been very engaged with my work recently. I'm sorry I missed the presentation. How did it go?
That's okay. I mean, It's just because I'm stressed, you know. It's a lot, as you know. But I mean, the board is just breathing down my neck on this one, you know. They want to see progress, but you know how it is. Progress takes years, not months.
Right. Well, you'll figure it out. You're very talented, Riley, and
Look, I just,
don't let them.
sorry to interrupt you. Could you just tell me, are you gonna be involved for the next couple weeks to a month? I have to figure out how much of this I should do and how much I should leave to you. Are you gonna be in? Are you gonna be half in? Or are you gonna be out?
To be honest, I don't know. But
Okay.
I don't know when I'll be done. I don't have a timeline, but I will give it my best. You know I always do, and I just want to say with the board, don't let them pressure you, you know, you must always keep your integrity, even if it upsets those above you, you know. I just don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. And that's just what I'm trying to do now with this work I'm doing on this side. I just want to make sure I do it right. And but if it becomes too much, I promise I will tell you that, so that you don't get screwed over.
Okay, well, thank you. It just helps me to clarify, you know. I don't mean to stress you out or put things on your plate, but, you know, we got the whole team back at the lab, and I got to make sure that they are using their time effectively. So I appreciate that. Is it cool at least, this work you're doing? Is it for the government?
Well, I can't say much. I'm working for a private party, and so I can't talk about the details. And it's good. It's different, and things I've never seen before.
That's exciting.
It's tough to know how long it will take, and that's why I don't want to say. But I can say I would much prefer, though, to be working with you on this. But this is something else that is important to me, and I have to see it through. But don't sell yourself short. You know, maybe this is the opportunity that you're supposed to have to take the charge, because you're a very gifted student, and
Thank you.
I think sometimes you sell yourself short.
Thank you. I want to be clear too. I am not trying to step on your toes. I'm not trying to take your position or edge you out of the company at all. That's not me. That's not me. I don't like the kind of spotlight that you have. And I can't do what you do, frankly. I know I'm getting my years in, but what you have and what you bring to the company is unique and very rare. And I think the board knows that. So, you know, maybe they test me a little bit on this and see if I can fare by myself out on the open sea, but you don't have to worry about anything from me at this point. But it sounds like you're at least passionate about this new project you're on, which is good.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was younger, around your age, and when I first got really, really involved into my research. It's a similar feeling, I guess. it is interesting. It's but it can be a lot some days, as you know. Um, and just with everything else, with, my friend, he just I tried to help him. I tried to help you. But some people, I don't know what you can do for them other than to be there. But even that is posing to be a challenge recently.
I hear you on that one. Look, is there any chance that I might be able to be involved with this kind of work you're doing in some way? I don't I don't want to overstep, but it seems pretty cool. And if you have your name attached to it, it must be something really, really interesting.
I'm sorry, Riley. I know you'd be great at it, but it's not as glamorous as it sounds. I wish I could share the details, but if you knew the details, you wouldn't want to be doing it. It's not so fun, and I don't want to distract you from the good work you're doing. I think you have a real chance to make a difference in a lot of people's lives with the research you're doing, and I think it's important to you, and you should focus on that. Don't mean to hurt your feelings. It's not that you wouldn't be good, but
No, I completely understand. You know, a lot of those teams, they're small in number, so I understand if there's just not the opening. But yeah, how have you been doing? And you sort of transition to like a more casual conversation where you guys are both sort of just catching up, talking about light stuff. And we'll cut from there back to Harold Burton. You wake up with your longtime girlfriend after a night of some funny stuff. And how does he? Oh no, Saturday is Spay Day.
Saturday is Spay Day.
Canon.
I gotta get to work.
You do. So you head in, and we'll sort of just see like a little montage of you going about your day and caring for these pets and dealing with customers and people who bring in their pets to be spayed. Is there anything he would like to do after his shift ends? So he'd probably get out around like 6-ish. We'll say it was a long day of multiple operations.
Yeah, so it's Saturday. He, I think on Saturday probably brings food home to eat with Blake, and then they probably, what they do in the nighttime on Saturdays, they might have game night on Saturdays.
Hell yeah! What game is tonight?
Catan.
Let's go.
Wait, it's 1995. There's no Catan.
Chilling.
There's no
Yeah.
Catan. Shit. All right, they're playing
Playing Sorry.
Life.
Like the worst.
Maybe it's poker night. Is that might be more appropriate?
Poker night. Yeah, you sort of you break out the cards, break out the chips, and like how it is with most couples, I feel like there's probably one of you that almost always wins and the other one almost always loses. Who's usually the winner of these hands?
Well, I'd say we typically would have probably like one other couple come over
Oh,
and
okay.
play. I would say I'm not very good at poker, but she is, Blake. She's quite the poker face. But I think we're playing with Tom and Edna tonight.
Tom and Edna.
Edna.
Yeah, we see like in the middle of her sort of like victory sweep, Blake is like, read 'em and weep. She just takes her hands, shovels in all the chips towards her, and everyone else is just shaking their heads. Tom is like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how I lost again.
Oh, she's good.
Too good. Too good. You gotta be careful of her lying to you, man. She's convincing.
The secret is you just think she's always lying to me.
And you guys get talking and go back and forth. We sort of like cut around to different people's perspectives at the table. And Edna at one point turns to you. And she's like, so what are you doing for work now? I hear you're doing something else exciting besides the glorious veterinary clinic.
Oh yeah, I picked up some extra work with helping out the police with some investigating some crime scenes.
Oh, really?
It's my expertise with multiple types of living organisms or something. It's helpful, I guess.
Can you talk about the case that you're on, or is it classified?
Oh, it's pretty much all classified. Yeah, no, I can't really talk about any. I can't even really tell Blake much about it. Yeah.
And she's like, what takeout did you get to bring back to them?
It's just Chinese food.
Yeah, she's just like stuffing her face with Chinese food. She's like, I don't know anything. He hasn't told me shit. She's just like stuffing crab rangoons in her mouth. This time Tom speaks up. And he's like, now, do you like working on Saturdays? Or is that too much? Because I mean, I work 3 days now, and honestly, I might go back to 5. I don't know what I'm doing on Thursday and Friday.
I mean, I don't mind working on Saturdays. It's not a glamorous day, but it's a dirty job. It's got to get done. And I mean, I'm only working 3. Am I only working 3? Am I working 4?
You tell me.
Definitely don't work all 5 days.
Yeah.
I don't mind working Saturday because almost everybody else goes to work on Monday, and I don't. And I can spend the whole day doing whatever I want. I'm first person in anywhere I go. It's usually no lines. It's pretty excellent.
Hey, if it works for you, it works. That's all you need.
You gotta keep yourself busy when you're not working.
Oh yeah, I need to find a hobby or something, man. These game nights are fun. I gotta tell you, thank you for inviting us again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming. It's a pleasure. We love taking your money.
Yeah, I guess and he flips over his cards, and he has a pair of kings. He's like, guess it doesn't do too much to 3 pair.
Ooh, again, too good.
And we see them sort of gathering their things, putting their coats on, heading out into this mid or early August heat.
A pleasure having you. Get home safe.
Great seeing ya. and it just sort of waves from a distance, and you see their shapes just sort of disappear into the darkness. And we'll cut from there back to Levsner.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say it's what time would it be? 10 a.m. on Saturday. So you have the whole day ahead of you. Sarah is asleep. And we left you off with dropping off Danny at Julie's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you sort of let me re-up the music as I say this, but you sort of drop him off there. She opens the door. She's like, "Oh, you remembered. Thanks."
Yeah, I mean,
Danny does not look happy to be here. Does not look happy at all.
yeah, we just stopped by the library first. Danny's been getting to reading more, so he brought his library books.
Oh, totally fine. I understand. And she goes down to pick Danny up,
Mm-hmm.
and Danny bites her on the hand. And
I think, yeah, okay.
she immediately starts to like freak out. She sort of like steps back into the doorway, and you sort of like start to maybe put your arms around
Yeah,
him.
I put her.
You gather
I
sometimes he like regresses back to a violent place when
Yeah.
there's something you're doing that he really doesn't want to do.
Yeah. So I sort of like take Danny to the side, get on one knee, get to his like level, and be like, "Hey, kiddo. I know things have been weird the past couple days, but can't do that, all right? You're safe here, I promise. You're with your mom for the weekend, and I'll come on right back and we can hang out again, all right? You gotta be strong for me."
And you see, despite what you're saying, he's like pushing against you. He's yelling. He's screaming. He has clenched fists and tense body language, you notice, which is like signs for these kind of kids that they don't want to do it. So what do you do? It does not seem like he's calming down.
I'm gonna take out like I guess I wouldn't really have this, but
Switch.
a what?
You're crazy.
I would say by this time in like taking care of Danny, I would have at least some way to communicate with him, and I'm gonna say this takes the form of like Richard takes out like a baby emotions book. It's sort of like a picture book, you know, like similar how to go to the doctor's office and you can point at different things. And so he flips to the page of like his emotions, like what he's feeling in the moment. Like, is he angry? Is he like upset? Is he just scared? Like, and I want to see, we'll try to gauge where he's at.
Yeah, you see he slaps the book out of your hands. And in this like split second between when you pick up the book and when he slaps it out of your hands, you have this quick vision, almost like a thought somewhere in your mind, of your hands around Danny's neck like you're choking him.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like, we cut back to reality. The book is scattered on this stoop. You pick it up, and he's just faced away. And now he's sort of just like crying. But he appears to be less angry now and more open to maybe selecting his emotion.
Yeah.
and sorting through this picture book, he comes to upset.
Mm-hmm. I know you're upset, kiddo, and I know you've had a good time with me during the week, but this is sort of the arrangement we have here. You have to stay with your mom for the weekend. It's what we agreed on, and she definitely has fun things in planned for you. I mean, you can do all the same things we did today. You can go back to the library if you want. You get some more books. We can try to find that bookstore that I couldn't find for you, and it'll be okay. I'm still right here. You can always give me a call, or at least I can talk on the phone to you if you need it. But you gotta be a big boy.
And he goes to give you a hug as if to say sorry in his language. And you hug for a moment before Julie sort of takes his hand and leads him inside, and we just see the door shut, and now you're out on the stoop alone.
Brewster takes a big sigh and sort of puts the book in his back pocket, and sort of just heads down the steps.
You head down, and what would Levsner like to do for the rest of the day, if anything?
He's circling back to that bookstore.
Okay.
He sort of like he sighs. He's like a little disappointed and like upset about the situation. But then you just see like a steel face just like cross over, like wash over his face. You see his eyes narrow, and he's like driven with a purpose now. He snapped out of like family mode and gets right to work.
Driving back to the bookshop. Why don't you give me a sanity check?
Nice.
Success. Okay. You can choose willpower or sanity to subtract 1 point from.
All right, I'll do another sanity.
Okay. You walk up, you find the abandoned storefront. The remains of Nail Atelier, the nail salon.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly how you left it.
I'm gonna page the other members of what's it called, M group or something,
M-Cell?
whatever, M cell, and I'm gonna message them the address. Essentially like a one-way page. Like send them the address, and send the words "expect check-in 1 hour," and then head into the bookstore with sort of my gun drawn.
Okay. As if to expect you to like reach out to them again.
Yeah, I will reach back out to them in 1 hour.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk back in. And you find it exactly as you left it. Except, that's funny. There's some kind of symbol that seems to be drawn on one of the mirrors.
That wasn't there before, I'm assuming.
That wasn't there before.
What's the symbol?
It's strange, geometric, snake-like.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like a cross between a sigil, an eye, a branch, and maybe a dragon. And we see in this moment, our camera goes in on you and not the symbol. And we never actually see what the symbol looks like. But we see your expression start to become overcome by fear. I'll have you give me another sanity save against
What
the
the
unnatural. Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay. Success. You find yourself at the other end of the shop by the door. And you think in your mind, that was a strange symbol that I must have just forgotten about.
Sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
Yeah, so you realize you're now standing on the other side of the shop.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, oh, that just must have been some weird symbol
Yeah.
that I moved past.
Okay.
Nothing to be seen here.
All right. I'm gonna head closer towards the back door that I was going to check earlier. Is it still painted white with a golden knob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you find it exactly as you left it.
All right. Hand over my revolver, and I'm gonna open the door and peek.
You open, and it opens to a busy New York street.
I'm gonna prop the door open with like a rock or something, and sort of like walk down the street on either end, just to see if there's anything weird.
You don't find anything weird. You see there are some kids down the street that appear to be playing. There's an older couple that's walking over by the library, and they're heading up the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing unusual.
All right, I'll head back in through the door, and give it one last look through. And if I don't find it, well, I mean, after I'm done with that, I'll head back to headquarters and then start looking up details about this building.
Okay. And I assume you send a message to all the other members of MCell that you're okay and everything went fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And we'll cut back to Reagan Jones. If you're there, Seth.
Yes, I am present.
Nice. So where did we leave Reagan off? We left him.
He just got into Abigail's apartment.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's actually finally going through and cataloging everything.
Woo! What
Hell
a studious
yeah.
boy.
Hell yeah. Okay. So we'll say this will be the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift that you would be taking here to kind of start this cataloging. And it is just this, it seems like an insurmountable task ahead of you. You know that even with all the members of MCell in this room cataloging, it would probably take you like 2 days to get through all of it. 2 full days. There's that many different items in here, but it seems like in the FBI boxes that are on the ground, there's like a cataloging sheet that you can use to just sort of like put items in and sort of get organized about it. But as well as some Polaroid cameras and some film. But yeah, you sort of get your latex gloves on, there's evidence bags, and you just start to pick apart this wild cacophony of almost like a shrine that she's made in her room. So for this shift, Why don't you give me a search roll?
Search. Actually, I don't know if my search is very good. That is a failure.
Okay. So, yeah, so the way it works is every shift that is spent cataloging these items, you get a certain amount that you've completed, and you get a certain clue. If you get a success, you get an additional clue.
Oh.
So just by spending the time here, you automatically get something, but you could get something additional if you keep like getting successes.
Yeah, but we know that's not Reagan's strong suit.
Yeah, he's just sort of going about
Yeah,
it in a very simple way.
Yeah, his notes are not. I feel like he goes through it faster than the other members, but definitely for worse because his notes are super simplistic. He doesn't like really consider the implications of too many items or uh where they might lead him, really. He's a much more direct person. But he's hoping that at least doing some cataloging and organizing can, at the very least, help his fellow agents.
Yeah, so you're sort of like making your way through. You see just a lot of like really weird things in here. As you're going through this shift, you find some like old-timey records that are epoxied to the wall, which you take each down and you catalog them and put them in boxes in evidence bags. You find a knife block where it appears like the knives have been glued into the block so you can't actually remove them, and the block is epoxy to the wall. Just extremely strange. And weirdly, on the side of this knife block, sort of like wedged between like pieces of wood on it, you see there's like something sticking out. And you sort of very gingerly with your gloves just remove it from the block. And you see it appears to be an airline ticket. Machine printed. I'm going to reveal this on your evidence board here. It looks like it's a ticket for United Airlines for someone named Michael Whitwer. So I'll have you describe that to me. What details you see on it? I'd recommend zooming in as far as possible.
Yeah. All right. United Airlines ticket for Michael Whitwer. The date that I see on it is the 6th of June, 2015.
That's not a mistake.
What? What the?
I don't like that.
Give me a sanity check.
Oh my god. I keep rolling so high on these sanity checks. Yay!
Nice.
Nice.
No damage from that.
Must be a typo. No.
Yeah, maybe that's what he thinks, honestly. Yeah.
From Los Angeles to Boston. Also weird that we'd have this in some... First of all, this is not Michael Whitwer's apartment. Second of all, we're in New York City. Thirdly, this isn't 2015.
Yep.
Let's see. Gate D15. Seat 9A. Da-da-dun-da-dun. We got a flight number. And then we have something that appears to be written in pen on there. I can't really see what the text above the number says. But I see 95671. Does that say number like NO?
Yep. Yeah, and
Okay, number 95671. Tell me, you guys, if you see anything else that's interesting on there?
Well, Michael Whitwer shares the last name of that teacher that brought Danny to that bookstore. I was researching Raina Whitwer before, so I would note that down.
It doesn't feel like
what's LAS?
Yeah, what is
Airport.
it?
Is it? Yeah, that's what I was confused about. I assumed
Harry-
it was
What
Los
if
Angeles, but
Vegas?
Harry Reid, Las
Oh,
Vegas. Yeah,
because
it's Las Vegas.
LAX is
okay.
Los Angeles,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also-
LAS is McCarran International Airport, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay.
What were you gonna say, Caleb?
It's down the bottom, right? Please be at the gate 30 minutes before depart. Boarding gate will close 10 minutes prior. Is that any different dependent on the TSA, which, was invented in 2001?
Yeah, this
Oh, hey, this is
this-
pre 9/11.
Yeah, this is pre 9/11.
yeah, that seems very strange to you. You've never seen that on a ticket before, and it looks nothing like a United Airlines ticket that you know. Even the material it's made from appears to be slick. Like the paper stock is different.
Didn't realize United Airlines was a huge bureaucracy. You just fucking get on the planes. What are you talking about?
What could go wrong? Okay.
I don't see anything else.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So yeah, you find that and you bag it. You find that odd. Do you think Reagan leaves that with the FBI evidence or sets it aside for Delta Green to cover up?
Oh, definitely Delta Green. I mean, he's not smart, but this is simple enough for him to be like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Anything that's like, and yeah, his weirdness radar just went off with the 2015 and just like how different this plane ticket looks, because I'd assume that Reagan has flown quite a fair bit in his day.
Yeah.
So this would strike him as really weird. So yeah, this would be with the Delta Green things.
Okay. Yeah, because a part of this too is like if you find anything remotely unnatural, you're supposed to bury it. Like put it aside in a box for Delta Green and hand it over to Agent Marcus. So yeah, you go through, 2 o'clock rolls around. You've cataloged a lot of items. You've made a lot of headway, but there's still mountains of items to go. Would you like to continue for the 2 to 6 shift?
I gotta be at the bar for my 5 p.m. shift arena, so no.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you head out. You box what you can. You lock the door behind you. And you head out of the McAllister building. And we'll cut back there to Vigo. It's actually roughly around the same time you are leaving the cafe, Angel Coffee, that you met Riley at, and you guys go your separate ways. What would Vigo like to do for the rest of the night?
What day is it?
It is
a weekend or week?
It's Saturday at 4 p.m.
Is the library closed?
No,
Would they be open?
they are open.
I think we'll go take a trip to the library.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we'll say you can spend this next shift getting to the library and starting to properly research. What would you like to look into?
Well, in his earlier days of Delta Green, I think he had some experience with the occult, so maybe into that. Maybe if he can find anything on Carcosa, because he just heard that word, heard a lot of words. And there's definitely a supernatural edge to this investigation. So he would definitely feel a little bit steadier in facing it if he could make some sort of discovery, because he's been freaked out a lot by it. So he's gonna see what he can uncover, see if he can ease some of his anxieties.
Okay. So, what would you like to look up first? Are you going to try to look up Carcosa?
Yeah.
Okay. So for this, let's see here. I'll have you make... What is your intelligence score?
12.
What's the times 5? So it's 60?
60, yeah.
Okay. And what is your occult score?
10.
Okay. And you don't have any archaeology or history that's higher than 60?
No.
Okay. In that case, I'll have you make an intelligence check to try to find anything in this library on Carcosa. Go. Okay, success. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. You find a book called An Occult History of London Town. It's a book by Dr. Patrick Messina, published by Castle & Co. in the year 1896. And it details a book that was reported in London. It seems to be unnamed, but it's often called the Cursed Book. That was sort of like the legend that came from it. That was written in Latin and contained a strange 2-act play that took place in some country or city known as Carcosa. It seems like this book, at least how Dr. Messina describes it, bears a striking mark on its cover, reported to resemble a dragon or an eye. And various crimes and atrocities in London in the 1860s were linked to it. And the government actively suppressed it. And since then, this cursed book vanishes from history. So this is what the book is called.
Did I, thinking back retroactively, I didn't notice that dragon or eye symbol anywhere in the McAllister building at all, did I?
No.
Okay. Interesting stuff.
It's funny that that should actually come up today when Levsner encountered the same symbol in the nail salon. I think it's a really funny coincidence.
No.
Well, Vigo was thinking maybe that, like, in between world in, like, the apartment could be Carcosa, but now it's probably not. It's probably something else. But this is all very interesting to him, and good chance it could come up again. So I think that's I think he's quite happy with this research, spending this time in the library. I think that, I don't know, it soothes him. Just he's in his element, you know, safe space, and just going to town with like the books.
Yeah, and it's like very fulfilling because, like, you know, last session, I think Reagan looked up Carcosa as well, couldn't find anything, but unbeknownst to you, you found something with the word Carcosa in it. There's some thread there, and having this book in hand is very comforting. That there might be some element to this that you might be able to understand. But the illustrations in the book are certainly not soothing. You see, like, illustrations of people, like, looking crazy, like, grabbing their heads and, like, running around in mob fashion in London after reading this book, reading this play.
I think I would, if it's allowed for this, if it's not like a reference book, I would try to, like, check it out. If not, or just make some copies of some of maybe the more interesting pages of this book from the library, just for my own research, for my own notes, you know, and just like bring them back to my house.
Yeah, you can certainly check it out.
Definitely check it out then.
So it's now 6 p.m. Would you like to do another shift of research, or would you like to just call it for the day?
I mean, I'll do another shift of research. What else am I doing on Saturday night?
Hell yeah, I love it. Yeah, we see, like, flocks of people starting to leave the library, but Vigo stays. He's deep into the stacks, deep into the books at this point, into the research. So what would he like to look into?
I want to see if I can find any, like, ghost stories or, like, supernatural experiences by people specifically in New York. I mean, just, like, he got the blueprints from, like, the apartment, which was interesting, but I just want to find, like, any stories, and, like, they'd probably be crazy, but just in case there's something that just sounds like it relates to anything. I mean, he's seen a lot of crazy recently, so, like, I mean, a lot of that stuff, it's like you have to vet it, because it's just like, I saw an alien, and it, you know, and it's just like, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but he's just gonna, you know, read through that stuff and see if anything resonates with any of the experiences that he's had thus far.
Okay. Yeah, just into, like, anything, like, supernatural in the New York area.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you give me another intelligence check?
Sure. Oh.
Failure. So you go through a lot of, like, bullshit. Like, there's just a lot of, like, crazy stories, like haunted houses, like people claiming to be haunted by spirits in certain areas. There's, like, different mythologies in different areas of New York and in New York's history of things happening. There's a lot of reports of like underground civilizations living in the sewers beneath New York City. Different people claiming that they saw people going down to the sewers and whatever.
I think that's kind of fitting. I don't think he was expecting to like discover any like diamond in the rough. Like this is the the key to the mystery, but I think it was worth it for him to check out. I don't think he had high expectations.
Yeah, it's just like combing through just a lot of stuff that's unrelated, trying to find like the needle in the haystack, but unfortunately the needle never comes.
Back then, that's what you had to do. You just dug through books and hoped to find something, I guess.
I know,
Back
pre
then.
Google.
Crazy.
It's such a different time. But yeah, I think we will cut back lastly to Harold Burton. So we'll say your night that you had with that other couple, Tom and Edna, came to a close. Went to bed with your long-term girlfriend. We'll say we'll cut forward a day. So we'll say it's Sunday in the morning. What would you like to do? You don't have work today?
Yeah, let's see, Sunday. What time of year is it?
It is August 13th.
Oh, there's got to be a football game on. I think I would probably watch a football game and then perhaps go volunteer at a soup kitchen in the nighttime.
Okay. Yeah, the game would probably be like later on in the day, so you could do that and then go to the soup kitchen. Does he want to do anything related to the McAllister, the investigation, any of that during the day on Sunday, or just wait till Monday rolls around?
Did I get pinged by what's your name? Ryan?
Yeah, I pinged back and said everything was okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if nobody was like asking for his help with anything, he wouldn't help them. And he wouldn't be thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair enough. It's a Sunday, so he might, just want to work on these things during the week and let his mind sort of unwind on the weekends.
A long walk with the dog, maybe in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just see like little vignettes of like a peaceful Sunday. And
yeah, he needs his cool down time.
And we'll cut to Reagan Jones after a long shift at Flanagan's working as a bouncer. You wake up late on Sunday morning, and is there anything you'd like to do on Sunday?
Probably go back to cataloging.
Okay. Amazing. You head over to the McAllister building. We'll say you get there at like 10 a.m. You don't sleep very long, but there's something about your body and just like naturally waking up early that just gets you going.
Oh yeah, that's 70 constitution.
Yeah. Just fucking built.
I did that warrants a distinguishing feature, and I said here metabolic anomaly.
Hell yeah. That's great. So as you don your latex gloves and start to go to work, why don't you give me a search roll?
Oh yeah, baby. Come on, low rolls only. Ooh!
Oh shit!
Zinger!
Oh shit! So you're gonna find 2 clues. Oh, this is great. So yeah, you find a stack of what looks like butcher's block paper. Like she's buying meats from like a deli or something, but they're epoxied to the wall. And on one of these papers, it seems like someone has drawn a map of some kind in crayon. There's like black crayon that has like 3 rectangles going down with a bunch of writing on them, and like a red crayon that appears to mark other sides of it. I'm going to reveal this on your evidence board, and I'll have you describe what you see.
Oh, hell yeah. Whoa! Wait a minute. This is the map that I wanted to make, isn't it?
The map was always here.
It says night floors. Which is pretty epic. Alright. Okay, so let's start with the topmost box. It looks like there's different crayon. Some of it's not the most easily readable. But I'm seeing like an entrance to a different room. I'm seeing down and up are 2 directions. I wonder what that means. And that's the 2nd floor apparently. There's like some sort of passageway or tunnel or something that branches off into the parlor and Mr. Castaigne. And then right under that it says to the night floors. And then we follow that. The middle picture is the 1st floor. Okay. Oh, I see now. This is literally layered on top of each other. Which this passageway leads directly into an apartment. Another up-down, several apartments. A lot of X's around. I wonder what those mean. And then we see written in the bottom right apartment on the 1st floor it says door on 7/12. I don't know if that's a date or if it's just a fraction or something. And then the ground floor, which I don't see any connection to from the other floors. I see, what does that say? Roses and butter. More apartments. The arrow at the bottom literally just says up. There's no... Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This is to get up and down the floors, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like that was the stairwell you guys went up.
Yeah, okay. That is the stairwell. Ground floor, we got apartments. Then we see the bottom left, man with briefcase and white shoes. Which is an interesting tidbit that there's 2 separate things on here. One says Mr. Castaigne, and one says man with briefcase and white shoes. I was thinking for a while that maybe they were the same person, but it appears that maybe they aren't the same person. So the person that Abigail went up to the to like the 6th floor or whatever with may not have been Mr. Castaigne, and instead is this mysterious man with the briefcase.
Yeah, it seems to be pointing inside the apartment that Roger Caroon is residing in. R. Caroon.
Oh.
Yeah, some of the other things that are hard to sort of make out by night floors, there's a note that says dead guy in mask. And
Okay, that was the one that I was having the most trouble reading.
But yeah, I think you got the rest of them.
All right. What about the second piece of evidence, Tyler?
Yeah, so the second piece, you find on the wall a torn sheet of old linen parchment, and it's inscribed with an occult symbol in golden ink. You immediately figure that this is probably the occult symbol that flagged this for Delta Green in the first place. This is what it looks like.
On the right side of the board?
Yep.
Okay.
What is your occult score?
My occult score might also be not great. Whoa.
Oh.
Someone's going crazy.
Someone's doing construction in the room next door.
And he's hanging paintings, I think.
Where's my character sheet? Should I make an occult roll? My occult's not good.
Yeah, just why don't you give me a check just to see if you can get this?
That is a failure.
Okay. Yeah, it looks to certainly be an occult symbol. It has the word person written around the outside of it. But you don't recognize that name or anything. You see it's actually not fully epoxy to the wall. It's instead like tacked on with like a golden thumbtack that goes directly into the wall. Would you like to remove it and bag it?
Yes. We're cataloging, baby.
Okay.
I'm a little scared, though. It's just a piece of paper. It can't hurt me.
Okay. As soon as you start to take it off and take off that golden thumbtack, you hear this blasting cacophony of sound. Like something like just multiple decibels above what your ears should tolerate. Like the sound of like a concert going at full swing. And it's just like this loud, what sounds like maybe like a brassy instrument that's playing at like maximum volume, and you just instinctively cover your ears and sort of like go down to the ground because it's so loud and it's shaking you to your core. And once it subsides, it starts to meld into the sound of a car horn, like someone. And you look outside and you see there's a cab driver that's leaning on his horn, and it looks like there's some like unkempt homeless man that's like stopped in the middle of the street. Like maybe he got the horn from this cab. He looks like he has military fatigues on, and he has this large snake wrapped around his neck. And he sort of looks back at you in the apartment, holds the snake with both hands, and just continues walking across the street.
Like, towards or away from the apartment?
Away.
That's fucking weird. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, my strange senses are tingling. So Reagan is definitely gonna, because this guy's just staring at Reagan, right?
No, he looked back at you briefly through the window and just like grabbed the snake with both arms and just walked across the street. You see the cab now speeds off down the road.
All right, definitely gonna go pick up the pace and try to chase after this guy.
You head outside and you know that he couldn't have cleared that block even sprinting. And you walk outside and he's nowhere to be found. Give me a sanity check.
Sanity schmanity. Let's see here. Success.
Nice, you guys are killing these. It's like all of a sudden you feel like someone is standing right behind you. And you turn to look and it's just the McAllister building there. But you feel like it's watching you. And that's where we'll leave off.